Introduction. We usually think of the ground and the ocean as peaceful things. The ground lies quietly beneath our feet, and the ocean lies gently against the shore. But forces deep within the earth can suddenly destroy the peacefulness. These forces, expressions of gases, and hot rocks called volcanoes, and huge waves called tsunami. In this book, you will read about this amazing event and the forces that cause them to happen. Deep within the earth, beneath the soil, rock and water on the surface of our planet, the earth is constantly changing. The top layer of earth is made of giant pieces of rock, like the pieces of puzzle. The pieces of rock called plates make up continents and ocean floors. Where the edge of the plates comes out together, there are often cracks and gas called faults. Underneath the plates, the earth is very hot. It's so hot that rock melts into a liquid called magma. The plate floats on top of this liquid magma. The magma is always moving, dragging the plate around it. At the edge of the moving plate, the different things can happen if the plates are moving against each other. One plate slides over or under the other plate. If the plates are moving past each other, the edges of the plates collide together, and if the plates are moving apart, they will make a gap where magma seeps out. Earthquakes, terrible trembling. The plates usually move very slowly, but sometimes large pieces of plates get caught. The plates try to move, but these large blocks of rock hold them back. The pressure and the energy build up. Then suddenly, the rocks give way, releasing all the pressure and energy. The plates jerk forward, and the sound shakes. Far above, on the surface, people feel an earthquake. In a small earthquake, the ground shakes a little, causing some hanging objects to swing. Tree branches sway as if they were gentle breeze. Some earthquakes are so small that we do not notice them. But sometimes the shaking is so strong that buildings crumble, bridges collapse, the log cracks open in the ground over large areas. We measure the strength of earthquakes on an instrument called a seismograph. Each earthquake is given a number from the Richter scale, depending on its strength. You can look at the chart on the next page to learn what different strengths on earthquakes feel like. For each number, the Richter scale, earthquake is 10 times stronger than the previous number. A 6.0 earthquake is 10 times stronger than a 5.0 earthquake. It is 100 times as strong as a 4.0 earthquake. The largest earthquake scale ever recorded measured 9.5 on the Richter scale. It occurred the coast of South America, country of Chile. Scientists are still learning about these dangerous events. One day, they may be able to warn people before the earthquakes occur. Volcanoes, enormous explosions. Volcanoes occur whenever magma is formed deep inside the earthquakes come out through a cracked surface. Volcanoes usually happen near the edges of plates. They are aware of many cracks and thin spots where magma can leak out. The magma pours onto the surface. It's hardened, often peeling up into a mountain. Sometimes the liquid rock flows peacefully out across the land. This is how many people of the active volcanoes on Hawaiian Island behave. But sometimes the hot magma cools before it gets to the surface. It hardens into a solid piece of rock, blocking up the crack or hole where it had been slipping out. It acts like a plug in a bottle. The magma continues to push upward. Hot gases in magma press against the plug. The pressure gets greater and greater. Suddenly, the volcano explodes huge chunks of rock burst from the volcano. Entire mountainsides can be ripped away. Hot, poisonous gas, ash, and melted rock shoot into the sky. The volcano erupts with unbelievable power. Many dangerous and destructive things happen during volcanic eruptions. When mountains explode, they send tons of rock rolling down the sides. These falling rocks are called landslides. Landslides can bury whole cities. They can block rivers, causing floods. Clouds of ash and dust rise into the air during the volcanic eruption. The ash falls to the ground like snow. The ash is so heavy that the roof of a house can collapse under its weight. An ash cloud can spread all around the world. Large ash clouds can even block out sunlight. The temperature of an entire Earth can be cooled down after a large volcanic eruption. Volcano can cause an explosion of extremely hot, poisonous gases. The explosions can be so powerful that it knocks over entire forests and so hot that it starts destructive fires. Some large volcanoes have snow and ice on top. The hot gases melt all the snow and ice at once. The water rushes down the mountain. This large dirt-filled flood is called a mudslide. A mudslide is like a liquid landslide. Scientists are not yet able to predict when the earthquakes will happen, but fortunately, they have gotten very good at predicting when a large volcano is about to erupt. In the 1991, scientists warned the people living around a volcano in the country of Philippines that the volcano was about to erupt. Many people left the Kerala and found safely before the huge volcano erupted. Tsunami, white waves, tsunami or huge waves caused by earthquakes or volcanoes. They used to be tidal waves, but the word tidal means something to do with the ocean normal wave. The tsunami had nothing to do with the tides. The tsunami can be as high as a football field is long and can be the largest wave in the world. The edge of the place. The earthquakes or the volcanoes often occur usually lie the edges of oceans. The shaking of an earthquake or the explosions of a volcano can cause large landslides. Entire hills can collapse, and sometimes they fall into the sea, making huge waves. Earthquakes and volcanoes can also be found under the sea. Water earthquakes causes the sea flood to move violently. Undersea volcanoes causes both events create huge waves that spread across the surface of the ocean. Tsunami spread outward, many from their source in directions. Tsunami can cross an entire ocean. Tsunami traveled extremely fast, up to 320 kilometers per hour, 200 miles per hour. In the open ocean, tsunami may not be very high above the surface of the water, but they are very deep. A tsunami approaches the land and moves into the shallow water. The elevated ocean floor pushes the waves upward. The wave slows to about 70 kilometers per hour, 45 miles per hour, but the ocean floor lift is higher and higher. At the time of a tsunami reaches land, it's tall enough to destroy almost anything in its path. The largest tsunami ever recorded happened when the earthquake caused a landslide along the coast of Alaska. But this wave was very small by it's only a short distance from the landslide that causing it. Most tsunamis have between 1 and 10 stories high, and they reach the shore. That might not sound very high, but it is hard to imagine the power of its moving water. Most coastal towns and villages are much less than 30 meters, 100 feet above the sea. Even a small tsunami can destroy houses, streets, and entire towns. Tsunami caused by a volcano in Indonesia killed 36,000 people in 1883. Like volcanoes, tsunami are becoming easier to predict. They do not hit the shore until a few minutes to a few hours after the earthquake or volcano that caused it. Scientists have instruments that detect volcanoes and earthquakes. When a large one happens, scientists have to warn people that a tsunami may be coming. Unfortunately, their homes are belongings, but they do have time to save their life, which is the most important thing. Conclusion: our quiet planet occasionally turns violent during a large earthquake. The ground shakes, destroying homes and property. In the explosions, volcanic eruption, liquid rock, poisonous gases, ash, and landslide can bury cities, and the tsunami can cause millions of dollars in damage along the coastline. Scientists are trying to learn as much as they can about these violent events. As they learn more, scientists can predict volcanoes, earthquakes, and tsunamis in order to save thousands of lives.
You're amazing. A perfect